Today, we are diving deep into the entire toolkit of one of the biggest names out there in farm assurance, GLOBAL.Ga.P. We're going to unpack exactly what they offer, from the basic standards all the way to the data-driven future of farming.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. This is Hari from Hari Gaphaus Berlin, and I am so glad you could join me for this explainer. Let's get right into it.
You know, it's a massive question, isn't it? How can we be sure that the apple from one continent is just as safe as the fish from a completely different one? Well, that is the exact puzzle that systems like this are trying to solve.
All right, first up, let's look at the foundation. These are the standards and the services that really create the essential toolkit for making global farm assurance actually work.
So before we go any further, let's get on the same page. Farm assurance isn't just a fancy sticker on your food. It's a whole system, you see, designed to make sure our food is produced safely, responsibly, and that goes for everything, from a farm to an aquaculture operation, all the way through the supply chain.
Now, GLOBAL.Ga.P has structured its standards kind of like building blocks. Producers can start out with what they call primary solutions, which are just perfect for local or emerging markets. From there, you can level up to the core solutions. That's the big one, the internationally recognized standard. And then you can even tack on specialized add-ons for really specific topics like biodiversity or social practices.
So what's actually inside those big core solutions? Well, a massive range of things. We're talking fruits, vegetables, even flowers. It covers fish farms and the feed they use. It also looks at the basic steps that happen right after harvest, and crucially, it makes sure you can trace that product's entire journey. It's pretty comprehensive stuff.
Of course, just having a rule book is one thing, but it's not enough, right? To make sure these standards are actually being followed the same way all across the world, you need a really powerful support system behind them. Let's see what that looks like.
And here is that system. First off, there's a high-tech IT platform that keeps all the certification data accurate and up to date. Then you've got an integrity program that acts like the system's watchdog, monitoring the whole process. And finally, a supply chain portal, which lets pretty much anyone check if a certificate is real and valid instantly. It's all built on trust and transparency.
You know, let's just pause on that integrity program for a second. It was founded way back in 2008, and it was a real trailblazer, the very first of its kind in the world of food certification. That really shows you how long they've been committed to making sure the GLOBAL.Ga.P name genuinely stands for something solid.
Okay, so we've got the standards, and we've got the system to make sure people follow them. But, you know, in today's world, that's just the baseline. The next level is all about adding value, using data, building skills, and driving real growth. This is where things get really smart.
This slide really says it all, doesn't it? It shows the huge shift in farm assurance. The old way was pretty simple. You get a certificate, you prove you're compliant, and that's it. But the new way, it's so much more powerful. Now that certificate comes packed with a ton of data, giving you deep insights for things like managing risk and being more transparent.
This is what's known as the impact-driven approach. And it's not just about collecting data for the fun of it. It's about using that data to ask the really big questions, like, is this certification actually making a positive impact? And how can we use what we're learning to make the standards even stronger in the future?
And they offer some pretty practical tools to do this. For example, buyers can bookmark their suppliers to easily keep an eye on their certification status. Farms can hook up their own management software directly to the platform. And community members can get access to exclusive, customized data for their own analysis. It's all about making data useful.
And what's the result of all this? Just look at that number. Almost 200,000 producers around the globe. That's not just a number on a screen. That is a massive, living network of farms and businesses all committed to these standards. It really shows you the incredible scale of this whole thing.
So how in the world do you get to a number that big? The answer is capacity building. This is the real on-the-ground work. We're talking about raising awareness, providing training to help producers actually get certified, and building up local networks of experts. It's how you take a global idea and make it a local reality.
Now here is a really cool collaborative idea. They actually offer their expertise and their entire infrastructure as a service to other assurance programs. Why would they do that? Well, it's to help the whole industry get more efficient and cut down on something that everybody hates, doing the same audit over and over again.
And that idea leads us perfectly into our final section, benchmarking. So if capacity building is about growing the network, benchmarking is all about connecting that network to the entire global industry, making everything just work together more smoothly.
The main goal here is harmonization. And this quote says it perfectly. When you align different systems, you cut out duplicate work, You make the whole process way less complex, and you lower the cost for everyone involved. It's all about efficiency.
So what exactly is benchmarking in this case? Well, you can think of it as a formal process where GLOBAL.Ga.P officially recognizes that another farm standard is basically equivalent to their own. It's like them saying, hey, your standard covers the same critical ground as ours, so we officially recognize it.
And here's why this is so powerful for a producer. Imagine you're a farmer selling to 3 different buyers, and each one wants a slightly different certification. Without benchmarking, that could mean 3 separate, expensive audits. With it, you do one audit against a recognized scheme, and boom, you satisfy all 3 buyers at once. It's a total game changer. When you boil it all down, that's really the ultimate goal here. Harmonization, through benchmarking, just makes global trade simpler for the producers, smarter for the buyers, and a whole lot more efficient for the entire food system.
So, let's just recap the whole package. First, you've got a flexible set of standards for pretty much any situation. Then, you have powerful services that back it all up and guarantee integrity. You've got data insights that go way beyond a simple certificate. And finally, you have benchmarking to connect and harmonize the entire global industry. It really is a complete system.
And that's our deep dive into what GLOBAL.Ga.P really offers. Thank you so much for watching. This has been your host, Hari, from G.G.A.P aus Berlin. If you found this explainer helpful, I would be so grateful if you could hit that like button, share it, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out.
But before you go, I've got a question for you. Thinking about the producers in your own country, which one of these 3 core services do you think is the most vital for them right now? Is it the core standards, the new data insights, or the incredible efficiency of benchmarking? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below.